It looks like we're going to have a beautiful day today, as I have made the commute this morning from Carolina Beach up here to Kinston, North Carolina. It's going to be awesome. And this is awesome what we're looking at here. This is an old Ironclad ship from the Civil War era. This is so cool. It's just a replica, but it's still awesome. Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitchhiking Yeti here. This is going to be an awesome day. We're going to start off our video today here in the town of Kinston, North Carolina, and we're going to make our way on the back roads, do some small town stuff till we get to Wilson, North Carolina, where they have supposedly some redwood trees. I'm talking about the same kind of redwood trees that you could find in Northern California. If you're a fan of Star Wars, maybe you've ever seen the Star Wars movie Return of the Jedi, the famous speeder bike scene. All that happens in the redwood forest. That's where they filmed some of the speeder bike stuff. That's what we're going to get into today. Redwood tree, small town, back road stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and begin. So if you ever want to come and check out this awesome Ironclad ship, just make your way to West Gordon Street and North Heritage Street. And that is where you're going to find this awesome Ironclad replica. And they have some monuments here. It says construction of the replica of the CSS Noose began in 2002 and is the only full-scale Confederate ironclad in the world. All right, I walked over here right next to this old Ironclad ship, and I gotta say, this thing is pretty spectacular to see in person. Having an inscription right here on this seat. It says, this site dedicated to Alton Ray Stapleford, master shipbuilder. Without his vision, craftsmanship, tenacious spirit, this replica would merely be a dream. She thanks you as we do. And then we have a little monument right here of Alton. Right there it is, Mr. Stapleford. Master shipbuilder, it says. Born 1932, passed away in 2010. And earlier I read that this was actually built in 2002, so about 8 years before his passing. That's when he created this. Okay, so at the moment I've made my way across town a bit. I'm here on the corner of South Queen Street and West King Street. And this looks to be an old abandoned service station from years past. See the old island right here where the old gas pumps used to be positioned. So I'm sure people pulled in these garage doors from time to time, maybe to have some brakes worked on a bit, oil changes, etc. And maybe even this is the name that used to be adorned on the building, G-Works Automotive, Kinston, North Carolina. And right next door to that abandoned service station, you will find this structure. This is the oldest surviving building in Kinston, North Carolina, also known as the People's House. It was built in 1772 by Elizabeth Heritage and her husband, Captain Jesse Cobb. During the Revolutionary War, approximately 1777 to 1781, it served as the unofficial state capital of North Carolina while New Bern was under attack and threat. So I feel pretty good about myself at this point. I was in New Bern, North Carolina maybe about 3 years ago, and actually went up there and I did a video about the birthplace of Pepsi Cola. And while I was there, I had no clue that any other state capital other than Raleigh even existed. So it was kind of cool that, yeah, while I was up there, I learned that New Bern was the state capital at one time here in North Carolina. And it was kind of cool to come here and read a little bit of history about the town of Kinston and learned that why New Bern was under threat at the moment, that this homestead right here behind us actually served as the unofficial state capital of North Carolina during that time period. So pretty awesome. Let's continue on around this town. It's really got some awesome structures. I cannot wait to get up into the uptown area to show you some of these buildings. Okay, I made my way over here to the Lenoir County Courthouse. It's a really cool looking building right here. Very, very nice. So Kinston, North Carolina was incorporated in 1762 as Kinston with a G. In honor of King George III, it was renamed Kinston in 1784 after the American Revolution to discard royal association for a brief period, which was about 1833 to 34. It was called Caswell before reverting back to Kinston. So there's some interesting history right there. You kind of know where this little cute town got its name from. King George III is where it all began right here. Okay, and right here in front of the Lenoir County Courthouse, we can find this information placard about the CSS Noose, which is the Ironclad replica ship that we seen when we first got into town. So this here says the Confederate Ironclad built at Whitehall and floated down the Noose, I guess that's river, grounded and burned by Confederates in 1865. Remains are 1 block north. What the heck? You mean they still got the remains of the Ironclad here? That's not the replica that we seen a few minutes ago, or, you know. So 1 block north, let's walk up this way and see if we can find it. Okay, so while I was walking 1 block north, I did not make it far, unfortunately, but I found this awesome little building. Check this out. Look at this. Just a little red brick building right here, but notice the signage up here. It says Caswell, #1 Fire Station Museum. So obviously this was the old Caswell Fire Department, which was the name of the town for a short stint, as we just found out. Kinston was originally, Kingston. Then they wanted to, kind of get away from the old monarch ways. And for a short period of time, it was called Caswell. So that is some really cool history right here. The old Caswell Fire Station, which is now a museum. Okay, I think it's safe to say that right here at the CSS Noose Museum is definitely where you're going to find the hull of the old Ironclad ship. And that's what it looks like on the inside. How cool is that? It's not open today, but that is pretty awesome. You can go inside. I don't know if there's too much glare if you can really tell in this picture, but you can definitely see the hull. And then they got some kind of piping that kind of dresses out the rest of the ship to kind of let you know how the shape should have been back in that time period. But if you really want to know, you can just, about 2 blocks from here, you can go look at the replica and get a good view of it. Check that out. Pac-Man. There's a ghost from Pac-Man. I remember the Pac-Man cartoon back in the 80s. Got Donkey Kong. This place looks kind of fun for kids. Inflatable World USA. Got Sonic the Hedgehog. And maybe that there looks like that sun that used to just kill me all the time in Super Mario Brothers 3. So right here in the downtown area, we have this amazing looking bank across the street. Farmers Merchants Bank. That is really, really cool. But look what I found. We have us an informational plaque that's red. It's not the boring gray we always see. This is called Legends in Lore, which it might not be true because it says Legends in Lore, but it's still interesting. Birth of Funk. Innovative musicians from Kinston helped create funk music in the 1960s with James Brown's band, starting with Nat Jones. Huh. That is kind of cool. Look what I just walked up on. Look at this old school theater right here in the downtown area. This is called the Old Paramount Theater, originally opened in 1898 as the Lofton Opera House. It was renamed the Grand Theater in 1914 and later became the Paramount Theater in the 1930s. Over the years, it has transitioned into various uses, becoming the Paramount City Lounge nightclub, which closed in 2013, and briefly the Platinum nightclub, closing in 2015. Okay, so for now, I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up here in the downtown area of Kinston, North Carolina. Really neat little place. Let's go ahead and continue on as we drive toward Wilson. See if we can find some other little small communities on the way to stop and kind of explore a little bit and look around. This was awesome. A lot of cool stuff in this town. All right, I have made my way up the road a bit now. I've found this cool little place right here, this little establishment right off the road outside of Farmville, North Carolina. It's called Little Rocket, and notice it has a little rocket on the roof of this establishment. This is pretty cool. Did a quick little search about it. It says what makes it special is its breakfast. It was voted one of the best hole-in-the-wall breakfast spots in North Carolina. All right, I made my way up here to kind of check out what they have on their menu. And they're kind of known for their hearty and southern comfort style food. Of course, they have their hot dogs, hamburgers, flounder sandwiches, etc. Their wing dinner, hot wings, pork chop tray, fried mac and cheese, potato pancakes, which my wife likes those. It's kind of a German thing. They got their lemonades, sweet tea by the gallon, soft drinks. And then right here is their breakfast menu, which they're kind of known for. Egg and sandwich and cheese, sausage sandwich and cheese, a lot of good stuff up there. Country ham, steak and egg. That's looking pretty tasty. You know, I'm kind of hungry. I kind of wish they was open right now, but you can also come by here. Their cheese biscuits are like legendary, and you can buy them frozen. Frozen cheese biscuits, $3 a piece, and take them home. Fix them at home yourself. So that is what is on tap here at Little Rocket Restaurant right here in Farmville. All right, I have made it to the downtown area of the small town of Farmville, North Carolina. Yeah, this bank right here is pretty epic. Bank of Farmville, it reads right up there at the very top. Now, I was reading online about the Bank of Farmville. The original bank was constructed in 1921, but online it says it was brick. And I'm looking at this building. This is not a red brick style building. It's epic in its own right, but I did not have to look far to possibly see the original bank, because it was established, the original bank, in 1904. And as I look at this brick structure right here, it actually says up there at the top, 1904 bank. So that would tell me that's most likely the original bank building right there. Yeah, I would imagine that right there is the structure that I read about. As you can see up there at the top, it says 1904 bank. That right there would probably be the very first bank that was built here in the small town of Farmville, North Carolina. And if you want to know what Farmville, North Carolina was built on, you don't have to go far to find out, because there is a mural right here on the side of this furniture building, and it says tobacco. Tobacco built this place. And that is a very good assessment, because as I was driving from Kinston up this way, I seen a lot of fields where I would imagine was tobacco earlier in the summer. I think they normally prime tobacco like in the middle of summer at the hottest time. My mom used to do it a little bit when she was a little girl back in the 50s. And they used to, I think, always do their tobacco pulling and things in like July. Right in the middle of summer or early August, it was just grueling. But I didn't see a whole lot of tobacco fields. It could have been tobacco there, but everything was kind of removed. But I did see a lot of cotton fields on my way up here today. So I think that's a pretty big industry for eastern North Carolina these days, maybe more so than tobacco. Gotta say, Farmville is very patriotic, because if you look on both sides of the street here, you will quickly notice that they have American flags posted in the ground on the sidewalk all the way down Main Street. Oh man, look at this theater that I just found. Right here in the downtown area. It's an old Paramount theater. It says Young Frankenstein. They're going to play Young Frankenstein October for 2 weekends. I would totally watch that. So this place is pretty interesting. This is an old 400-seat theater. It was opened by the Rialto Theater chain in 1921. It was renamed Paramount Theater in 1933, and by 1950 it had increased its seating capacity up to 520 seats. So as I look at the front entrance to the old theater, they do have a plaque right here to let you know this is an historic site, and it kind of gives you the timeline of the years that the theater changed names. But right now this is called the Farmville Community Arts Council Center, established in 1977. All right, so I think that's going to pretty much do it for a little walk around here in the town of Farmville, North Carolina. We're going to make our way on up toward Wilson now. So really excited to get up there and check out and see if we can see a redwood today. That's going to be a lot of fun. But there's other things on Wilson I'm sure we're going to uncover while we're there. Pretty historic town in its own right. So let's go ahead and proceed a little bit further to the north. All right, as I'm driving across the countryside here on Highway 264, I'm actually headed west. I'm looking to the east. I came across this old abandoned place. It looks like it's an old gas station of some sort. But I have been seeing a lot of places that look just like this. Old businesses, farmhouses, where you're out here in this farm area and you would just see like abandoned stuff, overgrown in the bushes. But this one is pretty awesome. I mean, look at that old garage door right there. And a little bit further down the street, I'm going to walk down this way a little bit more, and I want to show you there's an old truck just overgrown in the woods. And check this old relic out. It's an old Mack truck just sitting right here at this old service station. Overgrown, dilapidated. You can see the old light right there, like a night light that was shining in front of the gas station. But man, you can't even see nothing. It's so overgrown. But I have just seen so much of this stuff, I had to stop and document this. And I really didn't even know there was a gas station or old service station here. When I was driving along, I seen this old Mack truck. I seen the nose of this truck, and that's why I stopped. I turned around to go back and take a closer look. And only then did I start noticing that light right up there. And then that got me looking at that garage bay door, went on Google Maps and looked at a winter picture when it was not so green and the vegetation wasn't so growed up. But sure enough, this was an old service station right here off of 264. And if you look right there in the middle of the screen, you can kind of see the old signage that used to hang right there in front of the store itself. So before I leave this location, I wanted to walk around the truck a little bit. And sure enough, it was an old wrecker. Right there's the back side of it, where it would go and pick people up and bring them here for some work. Good old tow truck. Don't know what year model this would be, but it looks very, very old. I love finding little nuggets like this. So all that being said, let's carry on, because we're not that far away from Wilson, North Carolina. Let's go see what we can find in the town of Wilson. All right, and welcome to downtown Wilson, North Carolina. I'm right here on the street corner of South Street and Goldsboro Street at a place I just had to come visit today. Look at this craziness. We're looking at what they call whirligigs. Look at this. Look at all this goodness out here. And the wind is actually blowing, so they're really moving. A lot of movement going on here. And this is called Whirligig Park here in Wilson. This park displays large kinetic sculptures called whirligigs, built by Wallace Simpson, a local folk outsider artist. Simpson made these from pretty much salvage metals and other found materials. Many pieces are quite large and spin or move with the wind, as you can see. Really, really cool place to come visit. Never seen anything quite like this before. Yeah, this is pretty awesome right here. So cool. They got them just kind of spread out everywhere. I think there's like 30 plus whirligigs out here that you can view. It's pretty cool. This park actually opened in November of 2017 here in downtown Wilson. All right, let's carry on around town and see what else we can see. This is worth the drive for me by itself, though. Okay, right here in the downtown Wilson area, look at this old building right here. Has something to do with Coca-Cola because it's actually imprinted on the cement of the entrance of the building itself. It says Coca-Cola. And on the same building, you can see some old ghost signage right there on the side of the building. And that one on the very bottom, you can definitely make out the word Coca-Cola. And right up above it, it says distributors, and it says like wholesale groceries. So maybe that was the old Coke building, like a bottling building or something or other, where they would kind of distribute out Coca-Cola products from this location, possibly here in the town of Wilson. All right, I walked down the street from the Coca-Cola building and come across this gym. Look right here on the street corner. Look at the architecture of this building. Now, at the moment, the sign up there claims this is all for you property management. But maybe back in the day, this was some kind of pretty awesomely themed service station, maybe. We got a few bay doors over here on the far right-hand side. But I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, this architecture of this building itself does not go along with the downtown architecture at all. I mean, this doesn't look like it fits here. Look at the roof. It has that old, like, kind of like a Mediterranean style or something. I don't know. But, this is very, very interesting, to say the least. I just want to get one more shot of this building right here before I leave and walk away from this area and move on to something else. But kind of hate that those trailers are parked right there. It kind of takes away from the beauty of this location. But nonetheless, I'm glad I documented it today. And any of you people that are from the town of Wilson and you know anything about this property right here, as I said, it's called All For You Property Management at the moment. Definitely put in the comment section down below if you know anything about this, because this is one wild looking little storefront. All right, let's continue on around town and see what else we can dig up. All right, I gotta admit, I did not expect to see this here. Looks to be about a 30, maybe a 40-foot replica of the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse that you can find out on the Outer Banks right here in the downtown area here in Wilson, North Carolina. All right, my friends, it is happening. I have tracked down a redwood tree here in Wilson, North Carolina. And it is right here in front of us, folks. Look at this tree. This thing, I'm going to guesstimate right here. I'm going to say, I don't know, 60 feet tall. This thing is pretty monstrous. And this dates back to 1942. A local resident named Willie bought 3 6-foot redwood saplings from a nursery in Norfolk, Virginia, and planted them here in the Wilson area. Now, this here's the only one that I could definitely find. Everything online pointed me to this address. And this is someone's home. I'm not going to really show the home. It's actually behind the trees, but that is indeed a redwood. This is so freaking awesome. This is really cool. So glad I finally made it here to see a real redwood. I'm not in Northern California. I'm in Wilson, North Carolina. I don't know why this excites me so much. Sometimes it's the small things. But this one is not very small. That is a gargantuan tree. Really, really cool. All right, let's carry on and we're going to wrap our video up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog because it has really been a treat for me. All right, so luckily for me, I just spoke to the owner of the property here and she gave me a little bit more information, and she also invited me onto the property where we can walk up to the base of the tree just to see how big around it is. So that is pretty awesome. So I definitely said, yeah, sure, I will take you up on that. She actually said that the Lamb family actually planted these trees here in the area, but this specific one was planted here in 1958. And there was another one, more original, it was a little bit older, that was like it was like next door. And she said, unfortunately, last year, in 2024, it got a beetle disease and ended up dying. So right here on these two properties, this here is the last remaining redwood tree. But my goodness, look at the size of the trunk on this tree as I kind of walk around the base of it. My God, this thing is monstrous. I mean, look at my hand. I know that doesn't do it justice, but this thing is unbelievable how big it is. And I really do appreciate her for letting us come on the property and checking out this tree just to see, you know, how monstrous it is. I mean, this is just so freaking cool. God, really get a good idea just how big this tree is. Okay, now for real, we're going to leave the property now and move on to our final destination, and then we're going to wrap our vlog up. This is so cool. I really thank that woman so much for letting us do this. Really, really awesome. Okay, and I'm here at my final destination today. This here is the old Wilson Mall. It's been closed down for quite some time. Very abandoned. Not a lot happening here at all. The only thing that hangs around these parts is the crows that roost on the building top here. And right here I am at the back side. This is a mall entrance, followed by a CD Financial overhang right there that's seen better days. And then right over there looks like there's some other type of a storefront. And somebody even dumped a couch off right there. Like an unloading, no parking zone, but look like where you could pull up and maybe let people out and go inside the mall and shop. But something else is very interesting about this mall. It's very abandoned. It does have a creepy vibe to it. And what I'm about to show you might make it a little bit more creepy. So here in the South, from time to time, if you travel enough, you go to some malls, shopping centers, even a Walmart here and there. There's one in South Carolina. They have graveyards on the premises. And this one does. It has a graveyard right here in the middle of the parking lot. And this is it. Here is the graveyard. Now the graveyard is being taken care of very well compared to the mall. That's for sure. I know in Concord, North Carolina, they have a mall there. I think it's just called the Carolina Mall. They have a graveyard, not quite as big as this one, but it is actually nestled right up against the walls of the mall. But this place here is pretty interesting because, as you can see, the graveyard is in the middle of the mall parking lot. So that's that. So I would imagine this is a pretty good place to end the vlog today. I really had a great time traveling some of the back roads through these small eastern North Carolina towns. Been wanting to make this trip for a while. Had a great day, got to see some cool stuff, learn a little bit about the communities, and definitely got to see how they have changed over the years. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Really enjoyed my day here in eastern North Carolina. This was a lot of fun. So all that being said, my friends, I am the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Hope you enjoyed today's vlog. I enjoyed making it, that's for sure. That being said, as I like to say, y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon. This was a good one.